Yeah, so hello everyone. Like a couple of point I'll just touch upon, then we'll have a open discussion. Like in the last couple of days, like Kenny, Puru, and Mira did the significant refactoring of the code base. Now Twindle CLI looks much better and it is much more cleaner. So once I given a little bit overview, then I'll hand over to Kenny just to walk us through a little bit about what is the refactoring done and what is the agenda of it. And we are growing a little bit in a very good way in terms of Twindle follower. We are reaching to 240, which is quite very good because initially follower count increasing, it took me around 3 months to reach around 500 follower count. People are showing interest and daily joining different team. Uh, and also we are about to reach 100 subscriber into Twindle. And Bizay, Kenny, and myself, we are putting lots of videos, and I encourage everyone also related to Twindle. Anything you would like to put a video, please feel free to upload the videos, which will help us to other people. And we have done very good progress in terms of converting the thread to the PDF. Not only the 7-day restriction, but we can able to convert any thread. For example, this is like one everybody want to get rich, including me, but this is a very practical solution by Naval. Naval is a very popular Twitter. Let me execute it quickly just to give a hopefully it should work because there is significant defecting we have done recently. So once I'll just try to do a live demo. This node, this is where we, okay, I think I have to go to CD folder, CD Twindle. Okay, so this is the thread ID. We are passing as I don't know what I stand for. Maybe ID or something like that. So node, it will run this our program. Then this is the thread ID and the P stands for puppeteer. We have even was issue discussing about whether to use it or not, but older than 7 days, this thread will fetch it. So it will launch the puppeteer, mostly contributed by initially by Vijay Bhaskar and Tolga. Then it is enhanced by Puru. And the puppeteer will fetch the list of IDs, tweet IDs. So it will scrap the page and get all these IDs, relevant IDs related to this thread and convert this to PDF. And probably I'm running a couple of things. My machine is a bit slow. So it will take a while because OBS and other thing I'm running. Usually it is quite decent. So I'll just, it will take 2 minutes. And also the next idea is that like we want to introduce a testing framework like Zest. Kenny already come up with some kind of basic test cases and all are encouraged to contribute, but Puru is leading the that like to introduce lots of test cases because this would be it is beginner friendly project, but testing I feel very relevant and needed for our project because we can see in the past days, like if some developer is commenting the code and other developer is merging and it is breaking other people code. So we are having some issues, not very major, but in the future we are going to have lots of issues like overriding each other code. To just avoid that, to make our code stable because it is currently running and doing the job what needs to be done. So we don't want to break each other code. So this integrating JS and adding more test cases is one of the priority at this moment. So let that run for a couple of time because my system is a bit slow. I'm running multiple processes and it is not getting the CPU needed. And yeah, so there is some traction is happening. It is going in the proper direction. Like we have like Twindle Web, that is another subsidiary. Like we created this index page and this that header navigation and as well Figma design by Joel. So we come up with the design. So people also started doing some bit of coding. So which is if you guys interested to contribute into HTML CSS, feel free to contribute it. There are some suggestion. I'm not sure. Joel is a little bit busy with his personal priorities. I think getting some jobs or appearing some interviews. But we need some kind of improvement of this style and design, because lots of people commented in the one of the Twitter post I posted. This color is very much contrast, so we have to look about little bit dull color so that it will pleasant to eye. But it is good design to start with. And Akshay and Amin also come up with this team detail page, which looks very good. So it is there is some JSON file, and let Akshay talk about a little bit about that later. Oh, this is my system is crashed. And now, can you explain about a little bit about refactoring? What is your thought process, and can you give some update about that?
Yeah, I'll just give a very high level overview, and I think Meera and Puru can add on to that. And I think Meera would be able to explain very well because she wrote the code initially, and now after the refactor, she also understands why we needed the refactor. So at least at a high level, the code that Meera had written had a lot of uh, complications in there because the Twitter API was not very flexible, and we needed to do a lot of data wrangling, like for example, fetching from the tweet endpoint, and then later doing a lot of processing, checking if it is like older than 7 days or not, because the endpoint does not support older than 7 days. So a lot of processing is going in between, and then only then we after that we are like creating the API request to a search endpoint to get all the conversations related to that thread. So because of all of that, it was essentially like a couple of big files which had all these code wired together. So it was a bit of a difficulty in terms of readability and being able to isolate what each part of the code is doing. So I just proposed this new structure so that it might be easier to separate out the different modules that are involved, and also that would aid in ensuring that the code is testable also. So that was the main objective, to make it readable and also to make it much more testable. And also, now that it's in separate sections or separate modules, people can, jump in and contribute separately to each of the sections. Um, I think at least as a first start, this is looking much better than the previous version, and everyone is on board with it. I would like to hand off to Meera to share her observations.
Um, Yeah, so as soon as Kenny did these changes, the folder structure basically he enforced it and he copied over the code into the appropriate folders. So he did the first round. So I figured, I mean, I looked through the way the process in which he has written the code, and I added some additional changes for the Puppeteer integration part. So the web scraping project, I basically just had we still had some Twitter API integration code to be written. So I added that in the new module. um it is quite easy, like Kenny said. Now there is clear logic separation between what each folder's code does, so it was quite easy to just fit in the piece of code where it needs to go. So if everybody, I mean, if we can, Kenny, we can probably just do a workflow model in a separate video. I think our videos previously should be enough, but if you, I mean, if anyone asks anything about the workflow, the code flow, then we can probably just do a video like how the flow of the code goes between the folders.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's all I did, and then Puru has been making all the other changes.
Yeah, Puru, you can add your thoughts, what all changes you made, and how you felt about overall refactoring.
First of all, about the refactoring, just hats off to you and Mira completely. Like it was all your work more or less. So like amazing work. And the extra additions that I did was in the scraping. Um, I basically rewrote the scraping part that originally Vijay has created. I basically rewrote it to be simpler and slightly more efficient, and that's all I did.
Yeah, so essentially, what the problem was, because Twitter API does not give us tweets older than 7 days, so we needed to utilize Puppeteer. So initially, Vijay had come up with a sample code which would fetch the tweet content, so just the text descriptions. We found that okay, that is good for some extent, but we're not able to get, for example, media or embedded tweets or any such things. So then we thought, why not let us like rather scrape the tweet IDs, and then we can use the tweet lookup endpoint, which does not have a date limitation. So we can fetch all the tweet details directly from the tweet API once we get all the tweet IDs that are in that thread. And I think Mira has done a lot of processing to ensure that only the original author's tweets are fetched in the next in the API call after we scrape it. So in that sense, also it has made the code much more easier to understand and more predictable, since we are finally using the Twitter API itself. So we are also able to get all the details that are related to the tweets. I think that is about it in terms of all the changes that were made, and I think this will provide a very good framework for us to take it forward, at least from the Twitter module sense. Maybe we might have a few more refactors overall in the Twindle CLI, um, but we are making progress. So I'm very happy with the contributions from Meera and Puro and all the others who are helping with testing also. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it.
Great work, Kenny.
Yeah, thanks. Profile, you can go ahead. Profile,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah, Kenny, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Akshay, do you want to talk about that team pace and what are the discussion you have and the code a little bit?
Yeah, hello everyone. Hi Praful, hi everyone. Yeah, so Praful, can you share your screen with to the Teams page itself? Yeah, so we have made right now we have made a sample Teams page which is automated and automatically generated based on the person.json file that we have created. So this is actually Amin did the thing where we fetch the data. So we are fetching. So we are what we are doing is we are automating a card using a for each method in the JavaScript file. Okay, and it's instantly creating the card itself. So if we can uh, add another object naming like Praful here, okay, and or give all the details, and it will automatically create a card for us regarding that matter. Can you just Praful, can you just showcase the code itself so that I can explain a little better? Hello? Yeah, it's in Twindle Web. Yeah, team details.js file, not team persons.json file, JS file. Team underscore details.js file is there. Yeah, so right now we were importing the data previously and there was some error coming up. So what we and me and Amin decided based on yesterday's discussion that we just keep it simple, okay, and straightforward for right now so that we can see if our code is working or not. So this is the file that we are trying to use it in the persons.js file that is next to the teams underscore detail.js file. So right now it's a just an array of objects. Okay. So can you just move a little downwards, Praful? So there are all the details like links, title, okay. And this is just a array of objects, okay. So below this, we have created a card gallery, okay, inside this itself, okay. Yeah, so this is so we are just generating a card which will automate itself a card for us based on our HTML that I have written in this return. Okay, so it's HTML of one card itself. Okay, so this whole HTML that you are seeing inside return, okay, is one HTML card. Okay, so we are automating it as a four card because there are four objects in the array. If we add another objects, it will create another card for us based on our data. Okay, and there is, I think, just below down this also, there is another method applied like for each. So this is where we are retrieving our data. We are fetching the data from that JSON file that we have created afterwards. Okay, and it's pushing it to generate card function and giving it all the details so that we can create our card itself. Okay, so I think that's what we did. It just needs a little bit of code readability issue. There is some code readability issues happening, but we will figure it out. Uh, So I think I'm not sure Amin is here or not. Uh, no, he's not. So that's it from my side, Praful. Uh, okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Akshay. Let me quickly go through the issue list to discuss about some of the important issues which is pending. I think the logo we have not finalized yet, but anybody want to contribute, that's fine. I think this Twitter API we are doing some progress. Landing page we are doing good. Automate readme, this is fine. And this GitHub pages is one of the important thing I pinned it. My actions are not working properly. So if anybody want to look into the GitHub action, please feel free to jump into it and understand what GitHub action is, what is this error talk about, or you can approach me or Kenny to know more about it. And these are the team pages we discuss. And rendering the rich content, right? There are some images, links, and most of them are working fine thanks to Puru. Like we can able to see proper images, link. There are significant work done by Puru, which is much more presentable and working thing. Only thing I think that embedded tweets are not working, but I believe that he will work on that. Or anybody want to help to him, then he can contact to him. He can explain more better. And this image rendering, it is bit little bit advanced. You can go through and understand it. It is not needed. Image is rendering at this moment, but there are certain problem. And PDF page breaks are also appearing. Olga is working at this moment, and it is having some issues. And yeah, there are some minor puppeteer bugs. I think if I'm not sure whether they are addressed or not. PDF rendering issues, and a couple of point I think I raised, created and assigned to Mira. Like if I just want to multiple thread, it should be, I don't think it should be very complicated to implement. Let's say, for example, one author has multiple thread, and instead of creating into multiple PDF, I prefer to combine it to one PDF. For example, same author, multiple thread, single PDF. So we can able to pass as a comma thing different thread, and we can able to produce one single PDF. That would be a good reader experience. And second part is that not only thread, because there are few authors are producing good content. So let's say, for example, if you want to put a author like Daniel Veselo, give the number of 10. So we should fetch the 10 recent tweets, and we can able to create a PDF out of it. So we're expanding our thing. So this would be interesting to see, and there are lots of other scope for improvement. I'll come slowly, but I think this is good to start next phase. And also this EPUB generation, like initially Sekhar also work and Tolga also work. The basic EPUB generation was working good end to end. Our there needs to be integrated and code needs to be merged and significant work. So next priority after PDF, we should focus on EPUB generation. So that because EPUB is very much universally accepted format and which can be readable more into lots of ebook readers. So next priority would be for EPUB generation. So nobody is owning it at this moment. So it is a good thing to manage. And there are a couple of tasks created. And also like where is Jest? I think Puru close it. I don't want it to close. The test cases you keep it open so that we can come to. It is not about only creating the yeah, closed it. Okay. Any, I think you could close it. It is just a scaffolding, but let it keep it open. And we want some coverage like around 80 to 90%. We'll try to get as much as coverage as possible. Then only we'll close this ticket. So opening it. I think Puru will take this thing, and it is the common responsibility. So slowly, once we have some more test cases, so we will encourage everyone to put more, adding more test cases, so that our product will be more robust and sound. Okay. So that is pretty much about it. So any question or anything is we can discuss or we can close after some time. Any question?
Um, Beginners get scared when they see the error messages, but error message is really not something to be scared about, but rather it's trying to help us understand what the issue is. So if at all there is an error, you just go through it. What is it telling? Is there something that you can identify that is your code, or is it someone else's code that is causing the error? So those kind of things. So I mean, don't be afraid of breaking the code at all until it is the pull request is merged. It will not affect anyone else. It will only be affecting you, even if you're breaking or making any change. And I think in me and Vijaya, we had a session, and we were actually breaking everything and trying to get our feature working. And only after that, we tried to integrate the rest of the code. So before committing, anyways, before creating the pull request, we fixed everything. But the idea is, you create whatever change it is in your safe space only, since it is your local machine. And even if you make a pull request and it is like deleting other people's code, probably one of us will catch it. So we'll be able to guide you on how you can like ensure that everything is still working. So I think yeah, that's about it in terms of my thoughts. Anyone else has any questions or any other thoughts, or we can close as Praful has mentioned.
Kenny, I would just like to add something. So even if no one wants to contribute anything, just download the code, test the application, like test using several tweet IDs and look at the output. If you are facing any issues, errors, document them, because then it'll help us to fix code on our end as well. So that would be a big contribution as well. So even though initially you might be daunted by the code base, maybe, but just testing it and trying out different tweet IDs, old ones, now that we have fixed the old tweets issue as well. So just go ahead and test it with different kinds of tweet IDs, and see if you guys find any strange errors, any bugs, some kind of some weird errors being thrown, just document those tweet IDs and we'll try to replicate them and fix them on our end.
Yeah, that's true, Meera. That's a good point.
One more thing, we might need to document like people who are actually having developer access, so that way we'll know how many people are able to test.
I think we need to also include some way that people who do not have the developer access is also able to run the code, because right now we are tightly coupled to having the Twitter API key, right? So we
Yeah.
need to.
Now, originally, when Vijay proposed this idea of scraping, I thought even if people don't have the key, we could, just scrape out all the information and make the PDF. But now that we are integrating that route also with the Twitter API, so we definitely need the key.
Yeah, so maybe we could provide some other flag or some kind of mock data that people can use to try running at least, they can try running it, and they can figure out any issues in the PDF or the EPUB creation. Okay.
Yeah, because I think that is the way to go. More testing and more errors, discovering more errors before we put the code public.
Yeah, this was the point that I had raised, Puru, in that issue about being able to access the other flows, not just being able to run the actual, working flow, but also to be able to test the other flows. Yeah, I think that.
Kenny,
Yeah.
actually, most of us able to run like end to end to the Kindle device, and which is seamlessly working. Can you share your experience, like how you approach, because you don't have Kindle, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So initially, when I think Saturday or Sunday, Profile was saying he was enjoying the day. He was reading older tweets on his Kindle, and I told him, okay, I am sad that I don't have a Kindle. So then, how can I read it? So he said there is a Kindle app, so just install it, and I should be able to configure it similarly. So what he has done is on his Kindle, he has configured an email ID. So that is a service provided by Amazon, where our Kindle device would have a specific email ID, something at kindle.com. And the idea is that we can send any PDF as an attachment by email to that email ID, and if and once we send that, if it is in a good order, then Amazon will automatically sync it to the Kindle, or in my case, it is to my app on my Android device. So it is a Kindle app on my Android phone. So I just went to my Amazon .in for me, and inside that, on the Kindle section, I was able to go and check. So I found my specific Kindle email ID at kindle.com, and I configured that in the for the Twindle CLI, and I also added the email settings so that it would be able to send an email from my email ID. And from that, I was able to run it, and that is the output that you're seeing on the screen. So end to end, I just gave the thread ID, and it just came to my phone when I opened the Kindle app on my phone, and once I opened it, it downloaded it on my phone, and then I was able to read it. So yes, Profile, I am also able to read that on my phone.
So it is a free app or paid app?
It is a free app, Profile.
Yeah, it's a free app.
Okay, so anybody have the Amazon ID, they can able to install and use it, right?
Exactly.
And Kenny, is that email ID which you told is device specific, right?
Yeah, it is. For example, if Profile has a has a Kindle physical device as well as an Android app, he would be able to have a separate email ID for each device.
Yeah.
So if he wants to send to his physical Kindle, he would have a separate email ID. And I think if you have multiple Android or iOS devices having separate instance of the Amazon Kindle app, then I think each would have its own email ID.
So basically, you're just running one command and the PDF is appearing into your file, right?
Exactly.
In the mobile. So you don't need to do anything extra.
Nothing else.
You just hit enter and PDF is appearing in your Kindle mobile application after a few minutes, right?
Yes, I do have to refresh. I don't think Amazon has implemented a notification when it is receiving a new PDF. But I know if I open it, and if I once I open the screen, I am able to see the document there.
Also, Kenny, I want to say one thing. Like, there is an email address that they specify for every device. Like, say, for example, my husband's Kindle account, I can access it on my Android phone and on his Kindle device and on his iPhone. So, based on the app that they want to use. But since the PDF is being delivered to the library, everyone can see it. So it's still going to be in the Kindle library. So I've spammed his Kindle library. Like, it's not being delivered to just one device. I assume that it would only come to my app because I was targeting my Android phone's Kindle app. So I assumed that it would only be delivered to me, but it's not. Apparently, it's also going to him. He's been yelling at me.
Oh.
Like, I have this bunch of 15 PDFs that I don't want to see this. Please delete them.
So I think we have next feature request. We have to figure it out how to delete it. Because I am also seeing lots of PDF. That's why I created one issue. Like, I just want to combine.
I did not spam your email, okay?
Yeah. But that is pretty much good. Just I want to stress the point that all in this call, or they can no need to have buy the Kindle or use it. So they can use it is available in the iOS or Android any phone. So which you can get the seamless experience end to end. And the developer access also, like for example, Samriddhi also got quickly, and Pranav also got quickly. So it is quite quick. I think only Saurav got rejected as far I know till now. So please, whoever not applied for the developer work, there is a wiki documentation, or approach Samriddhi or Pranav or Mira to get some help. Apply it so that you can able to execute end to end, and you start using it. So the more you read, if you find any frustration, any kind of suggestion, like you can think through it more. That's pretty much it. Sarath, do you want to add anything? Like, you want to tell something about the progress we have made so far?
Sure, except the fact that I did not contribute anything.
No, that is fine. All good.
Yeah, I think the guys are able to work independently. They know their roles and they are proactively getting into issues and start working in, getting through the difficulties and challenges and making, incredible progress. I can just say them like job well done. So yeah, it's pretty impressive, honestly speaking. Yeah, I think they all have responsibilities, and on top of that, they are doing it. So we should all be appreciating them for the effort. It's not easy. So yeah, that's all about it. It's been great work. Yeah, I'm glad about it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarath. Anybody want to discuss anything like the beginners or the new faces? Or what is stopping you not to do better? Hello?
Hello.
Am I only the one who's unable to hear?
No, I
No,
can
no,
hear you.
no. I think
We can
most
hear
people
you.
weren't able to hear.
Can't hear a single thing.
Praful, maybe. Okay.
His mic is stopped.
Okay. Okay, then fine. Maybe. Can you want to